God. Very good. Everyone uses this playlist, right? Forever. Just letting everyone get in. Oh my God. Oh. Dun dun dun. Oh. Let's open. What's going on, guy? My speed test is great. I'm line in. I forgot to add my alerts to this scene. Hold on, I'm so sorry. I missed it. I'm so sorry. But thank you. Thank you. Oh no, I shouldn't have missed it. Did it pop up and I missed it? I heard it. Thank you. I don't know why my bitrate right now is so shit.
And
Again? Hasn't that happened before? That's an again? Did it do it again? He did it again? I mean, another family's doing it? What?
Andrew Tate war room leaks, dozens of new victims allegedly being discovered.
Of course. We all knew that, right? We all knew this was gonna happen.
My boy, howdy doody. We dive deep into what experts say is actually going on with Mitch McConnell and why Selena Gomez. Mitch
McConnell videos have kind of scared me. Him just staring there blankly. That kind of scares me.
Gomez has been getting absolutely slammed online. We're going to talk about all that and so much more on today's brand new Philip DeFranco show, your daily dive into the news. So just make sure you're subscribed and let's jump into it. Starting with, this may be the biggest YouTube scandal to date. Ruby Franke has been arrested for child abuse, which if you don't know her, she's known for being a part of a very big family channel called 8 Passengers, which chronicled her life with her husband Kevin Franke and their 6 children. But according to records from the Washington County Sheriff's Office in Utah, Ruby was arrested yesterday under suspicion of 2 counts of intentional aggravated child abuse. And actually her business partner Jody Hildebrandt was also arrested for the same reason. And as far as what led to this arrest, you had Fox 13 in Salt Lake City saying that a child had climbed out of a window at Jody's home and went to a neighbor's home for help, with a child asking for food and water, the neighbor noticing the child had duct tape on their wrists and ankles and was emaciated.
That's literally, there was another family channel that's done that. Hold on. Family channel. I don't know why my stream keeps like cutting out. Can't tell you. Anyway.
A mother in Arizona is accused of horrible abuse behind the scenes of her family's popular YouTube series. Videos of her 7 adopted children have been...
And this was 4 years ago. It's the same story.
Malnourished, had open wounds. And then after
I know she was doing awful. She was like tasing and pepper spraying the kids, right?
They were taken to a hospital. A second malnourished child was found in the home and later treated. So just absolutely horrifying news, but notably, to many who had been following Ruby and 8 Passengers, they weren't surprised. She had faced tons of criticism for abusive parenting in the past. The 8 Passengers channel was even taken offline earlier this year, with a lot of attention then turning to Ruby joining a new channel that was all...
What do we do about it? What do we do about all that? I don't know. Dude, I'm dropping 20% of my frames right now. What is going on? Let me try to do that. That might help. I don't think so, though. That's not even running on my system. Okay.
Also controversial, right? That was called Connections, and Jody was the founder of it. And on its YouTube page, it described itself as a different modality of healing that psychotherapy cannot offer you, and claiming our training will help you transform your pain into joy. Choose the life you want to have. Exchange your confusion for clarity. Local news outlets also...
That's just... There's that... it wasn't a YouTube channel, but those people who adopted kids that took pictures of them and then they drove off a cliff. That sad story. And those people were also portraying themselves online as like love, like so loving, and they were like the complete opposite of what they were doing, and it's the same thing.
So describing it as a parent counseling service, but also with that, you had insider reporting that many have accused Connections of being a cult. Some even pointing to Connections videos that show Ruby explaining kind of extreme parenting approaches. Things like in one video where she essentially says that children do not have a right to privacy.
They're not concerned about privacy. That is the last thing they're concerned about. They're just trying to hold that word over your head. They're trying to hold you hostage. In this home, you don't get personal space because this is my space.
That's crazy. That's insane. You can't say that out loud.
Because I'm the parent. And as long as you're living in my home, it is my job to know everything about you. You don't get to sneak, you don't get to hide, you don't get to have secrets.
People also resurfacing old 8 Passengers clips, like one where Ruby said her 6-year-old daughter forgot to bring a lunch to school, but she refused to drop one off for her.
I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch.
Hold on.
6-year-old daughter forgot to bring a lunch to school, but she refused to drop one off for her.
I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch. And it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with a lunch. But I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry. And hopefully nobody gives her food and
I need to know how old that kid is, but this could get crazy. I mean, obviously she's already the normal abuse is bad enough. That's crazy enough.
Nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
You also have people pointing to one clip where she takes away her older son's bedroom as a punishment for pulling an elaborate prank on his younger brother.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October.
Okay, that's wild. Making it, I can't imagine. He looks high school age. I can't imagine having to sleep on a beanbag, especially during high school. Ugh.
Was sleeping on the floor in the family room.
And with all that, Insider even did a report back then in 2020 noting that these clips, along with others, prompted viewers to accuse them of child abuse, and Child and Family Services even showed up at their home. But that case was closed because reportedly the claims were unsupported. But now, with Ruby being arrested, there have been very notable responses, including from the family's eldest daughter, who also apparently hasn't been in contact with the family for some time now because she wrote on her Instagram story last night, "Finally, today has been a big day. Me and my family are so glad justice is being served. We've been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this and so glad they finally decided to step up. Kids are safe, but there's a long road ahead. Please keep them in your prayers and also..."
That's the exact same thing with the other channel I was talking about. This one, that's the oldest.
Viewed millions of times, but the mother was arrested days ago.
The oldest kid reported it. The elder. That's wild. This is so many similarities.
To respect their privacy, and also asking that if anyone has links to any questionable or concerning content that's been posted in the past, specifically from connections, to send it her way. Ruby's siblings also posting to Instagram to say that Ruby's and Jody's arrests needed to happen, also saying that the kids are currently safe. And so for now, we're gonna have to keep our eyes peeled for updates, right? People wondering with this situation what's happening with the father, Kevin Franke. And actually with that, you had Insider reporter Lindsay Dogston tweeting, "Kevin Franke is no longer an employee of BYU, a spokesperson told me. His employment ended there in spring, but it's unclear why. It's not yet known if he's also been arrested. But we'll be following the story here, and so when we know, you will know." And then, y'all, 45 new victims have allegedly been ID'd in new leaked chats from Andrew Tate's war room, with there now reportedly being over 12,000 leaked war room messages showing the tips and tricks members shared for...
What am I saying? Shit. It smells like they did. God. There's a litter box right over there, so... Oh, I hate it. God.
coercing, grooming, and forcing women into sex work. What's scary is that number could actually be far higher, considering these messages are just from between March of 2019 and April of 2020. Also, if you're new to the situation, you're like, what even
We've
is
been
War
telling
Room? It's a
y'all.
private Telegram group chat for Tate's biggest followers, with them reportedly paying some serious money just for that access, it costing at least $8,000 a year. With that seeming to be a healthy revenue stream for Tate, because at the time of those messages, 434 people were paying for that access, which is wild because without considering all the other stuff, that's nearly $3.5 million a year. And reportedly, one of the biggest names in the channel was one of his generals, Miles Sunken. It messaged new members a reading list and a manifesto outlining the group's agenda. And part of that included their PhD program, aka their pimp and hose degree. Right? And in one message, you made it very clear about how to go about isolating.
The fact that adults fell for this man, and I mean the guys that were in the chat, is so wild to me. What do you need to be missing in your life? I don't know. Why do I have 20% dropped frames right now? Ooh. What was that? Why? Nothing connected or disconnected, so I'm kind of scared. The audio is still working. My camera's still there. Why am I dropping frames like crazy right now? Nothing's running on my system. Jesus Christ.
Women from their support groups, you know, normal, non-crazy, predatory behavior, saying it all starts with a coffee date. And after that, it becomes a series of gradual steps to remove her entire support structure from her life. Then we punish her for a transgression.
They actually said that? They actually typed that out and sent it? Had a record of that? Oh my God. He's going to jail. I mean, come on.
Real or imagined. By having her...
Why is 20%? Why is it going up? I'm not running anything. Let me see. Let me close more things. Something's got to be using a lot of memory right now. That's not OBS. Here we go. I just got rid of both my chats. What does it have to say? Dude, why do browsers eat up freaking? Am I gonna have to get Opera GX? I think I'm gonna have to get Opera GX. God, I've been avoiding it. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Sorry, I'm downloading. Let me switch scenes. There we go. Yeah. Download this. I'm installing. I'll turn. Oh no, I won't. What's it doing now? 22%. No shot. That's horrible. Get that off. Now it should go down from that. What is going on? What is going on? Sorry, I can't see my chat right now. Everything is going downhill. And it's getting even worse. My God. Oh my God, my God. Why have you forsaken me? Ugh. This is apparently supposed to be real good. Come on. Well, that's setting up. That's Opera GX. I just want to pull up the chat. Can I open it? How does this work? What's going on? Doesn't seem to want to work. I'm only using 1% of the network. Put them at 79% memory. Oh God, now I have lots of taps of Opera. Oh my God. Hold on. I say, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. What's going on? All right, let's pull up my YouTube chat. First of all, Two-step verification. Two-step verification. I might even pull up the video, finish the video on this. But let me get the chat first. It feels good. What's going on? How we doing? I'm trying to fix this 20% drop frame issue that we've got going on here. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Video. Sorry. I have an active community guideline strike. Oh, for watching Speed Racer. Yeah, that was me. I think. What do I think? I don't know. Sorry, I'm sorry. No, it's not made for kids. Come on. Okay, stream help. It says the stream help is excellent, but I can see that it's clearly not. Anyway, I just want to pop out the chat. Bring it over here. Now I gotta go to Kick and pop out that chat. This is helping. It's already dropped to 19%. If I can get off of... God, I gotta log in. Boom, it works, I think. It's perfect. Creator dashboard. Boom, it works. Okay. Oh, someone followed me 20 minutes ago. Thanks for that. That should have worked. But it didn't. I can't explain everything. Fix that size. All right. Looks like we're good to go. That's better. We'll finish the video on here and then I'll set it up.
Or get our name tattooed on her, leaving her family's home, apartment, town, country, webcamming, stripping, walking the track for us, getting us girls, escalate. And from there, they'd reportedly take what money these women earned. With one woman the BBC spoke to saying she was forced to give up $95,000. That was 80% of her earnings to two War Room members. Also, other leading War Room members would post images of women with serious signs of abuse, such as cuts and bruises. Another describing how a woman complained to him about work, so quote, I took her keyboard and hit her in the head with it, and saying she then went into the room and worked 7 hours without any break. Right, and if any of that sounds familiar, well, it's because that exact playbook is pretty much what Romanian authorities are claiming Tate did in their scheme to traffic women. Though notably on that note, right, none of these messages that we're talking about today are Tate directly saying anything. But instead of the Tates noting that and distancing themselves from this new report, they're calling bullshit. With Tate telling the BBC its findings were, quote, another brazen attempt to present one-sided, unverified allegations. And a spokesperson adding, the BBC's...
He's just taking the Trump route of just like denying constantly, right? Just saying, no, I didn't do that. And so his followers will be like, oh, no. He didn't do that. Even when they present the evidence, everyone thinks like, oh, they're lying to us. They're not. You're just dumb. That's kind of what's going on in reality.
findings not only present false accusations, but insult the massive community that considers Andrew Tate
Oh
a
my God, you're not
life-changing
even
positive
watching.
force. Their statement also adding that Mr. Tate is, quote, prepared to take all necessary legal actions to defend his innocence and hold accountable those responsible for defamatory claims. But as far as how everything's going to play out from here, we're going to have to wait and see. And then, ooh, people were coming for Selena Gomez. Right, so currently, you have the writers and the actors on the picket lines are taking a big stand against the studios. And one of the big updates is that the public is largely on the workers' side here.
True.
With a recent Gallup poll finding that 72% support striking writers, with just 19% supporting the studios. And then with the actors, the numbers slightly dip, with 67% supporting the SAG strike, 24% siding with the studios there. And this notably coming as there's potential friction within the studios, with Deadline reporting that many executives of major studios met yesterday amid growing speculation of internal divisions and a lack of any apparent path forward to end the writers and actors strikes. With big names like Netflix's Ted Sarandos and Warner Bros.' David Zaslav apparently being part of it, Disney, Amazon, and Universal also throwing some execs in. And remember this, as we are 120 days into the writer's strike and at nearly 50 days for the actors. So
Has it really already been 120 days? Wow. It's been so long, so fast. All your favorite shows are going to be pushed back. And we're going to get a bunch of crappy reality TV in the coming months. Ooh, but the studio that did comply, I think A24 complied with the demands, and they can actually still make movies with A24 without breaking strike rules. And they make some good movies, usually. So I'm expecting a lot of good, like, indie films. Anyway.
Is also prepare for a content drought. But also with the strike news today, you had some celebrities making some headlines both for backlash and praise. On the backlash front, you had Selena Gomez because she posted and then deleted a video on Instagram that seemingly promoted only murders in the building, with a video showing behind the scenes clips alongside the caption missing and wanting only murders Hulu.
You can't promote it. What
That
studio
post
was
getting 1 million likes by the time that it was taken down. And according to the Los Angeles Times, it was on our grid for at least 15 hours. And even though reportedly the video was not a commercial or anything like that, it's still against strike rules to promote projects. And especially since she tagged the show's official social media handles, it looked like promo. And so the responses to her have varied, with some describing this as an honest mistake, saying, you know, this is kind of more of a throwback, but also a lot of others calling her a scab. But then as far as celebrities getting praise, you had a group of late night hosts launching a podcast to benefit the writers on strike, with those being Stephen Colbert.
I thought that was cool. I need to watch that, because seeing all of them interact might be interesting. I don't know. I guess I don't know if there's a visual to it or if you can just listen. I don't know.
Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, and John Oliver all going behind the mic for Strike Force 5, which actually came out this week, and according to the Washington Post, it's going to have at least 12 episodes. And reportedly, the money made on that show are going to go to the staffers on their shows who are currently out of work. And then I want to talk about one of the coolest things I think a lot of people need to know about. And specifically, I'm talking about the innovative award-nominated device and sponsor of today's show, Fume. You know, Fume.
I'm going to skip his sponsorship. I'm so sorry. Hold on. I'll let you hear. Oh, yeah. You see that link? Go to that link. Go to that link and support him. Support Philip DeFranco, the man. But I am gonna skip this ad if that's okay.
Very quick news stories that are completely unrelated to one another that vary in levels of seriousness that I want to give to you. One, in the most important news of the day, a car with a giant bull sitting in the passenger seat named Howdy Doody was pulled over by police in Nebraska. And the man who was driving in Howdy Doody were pulled over after some snitch called the police. But the police actually didn't even give him a ticket. They just gave him some warnings and asked him and Howdy to leave the city. Because as it turns out, Howdy Doody is actually a kind of a local celebrity there. Performs at a lot of parades and fairs. Two, Russia is demanding that Norway pay them $4.4 million because 42 reindeer crossed the border into Russia. And as far as
Wait. And the Russia nuts, you Russia nuts out there, are gonna come up with excuses for that. That's just funny. That's just a funny demand.
why $4.4 million? They say that the money is compensation for the reindeer eating Russian grass. That's some expensive ass grass. And as far as how this happened, supposedly a gate that separated the two countries and kept reindeer out of Russia just broke. Also, don't worry about the reindeer. They're fine. Actually, no, they're not. 40 of the 42 reindeer have now been killed in fears that they'll cross into Russia again. And while I personally hope the 2 remaining reindeer exact some revenge, Norway has just asked its citizens to keep their reindeer in check. But I think main thing, Santa's gonna be pissed.
They executed the reindeer that crossed their border. That's insane.
3. Saudi Arabia has sentenced a man to death for criticizing the Saudi royal family on Twitter. They charged him with betraying his religion, disturbing the security of society, conspiring against the government, and impugning the kingdom and the crown prince. And this guy just had 10 followers, so he was essentially tweeting to no one. But who's actually surprised here? Killing people for tweets is just yet another human rights violation from the champions of crimes against humanity. I mean, I get the sports washing is working, but Saudi Arabia also funded 9/11, genocided Yemenis, aided ISIS, and killed Jamal Khashoggi. And 4. Niger has stripped the French ambassador of their diplomatic immunity and have ordered the police to expel them. And they obviously can't go into the embassy, as that would be a major breach of international norms, too far even for them. But police in Niger are now searching all vehicles leaving the embassy. Yo, it really cannot be understated how absolutely ridiculous this is. With it widely believed that if they manage to get their hands on the ambassador, France isn't going to ask for them back. They're just going to bomb the country into oblivion. And isn't there already enough suffering without more stupid shit? And then, so by now, you've seen this concerning and disturbing situation around Mitch McConnell, but we need to dive deeper because there's this now viral video.
Okay, this story's good, but I got to take a shit. No! What did I do?
Without
Okay. I've got to take a shit. I've got to. I have IBS, so there's going to be a full-time occurrence. To add a new... Can we... Black, yeah. No, blue. That'd be nice. How's that look? All right, I'm gonna play music for you. Don't leave. Please don't leave. I take really fast shits, guys. Really fast. I'll be back.
Feeling like a king with a crown now. New crew, same kid with a crowd now. I check what I'm doing with a spy cam. Ain't nobody know the hustle that they found out. Afro and he's kind of tan, a ladies man. He makes his beats on pots and pants, man. I'm a fan of that young man with a grin on his face and a mic in his hand. Like me and Dom Sons said you boot thing. Take a step back, boo, you a fruitcake. Who knew you back when it was cold out? Ice Age, baby, talking broke, they broke now. Somehow all your savings done broke now. Who knew out of pocket dropping would never make you take a second and stop singing? Cash, cash, money, babe, that's just all I'm worried about. You know what I got to do, you know what I'm doing, gang. Cash, cash, money, babe, clock is always running, babe. You used to do the maneuver and now it's running late. Cash, cash, money, bags, all I dream about. Music is the avenue, you just do the songs about. Cash, cash, money, babe, got to go, it's running late. On the grind like all the time, come and join me, babe. Wow. Welcome to Constellations, everybody.
An ultimate task against the best of the best. We're focused now, not a second to rest. A chance to be a champion and glory within, as we wait for the games to begin. Cause at the countdown, we're starting out on the ground, but we won't go down, we'll be up in the clouds. Take a chance now, cause it's once in a lifetime, and the crown is there inside. Take a shot, take it up a notch. If we're on the spot, we can pull it off. If we take it to the limit, we can watch them fall. So get your head in the game and we can win it all. Bring the heat, we don't miss a beat. Play it all.
I'm back.
It's our big
I'm back. Okay. Okay, I'm no longer shitting. We can take that off. Okay. Okay. It was a little silly. I get it. Okay.
More stupid shit. And then, so by now, you've seen this concerning and disturbing situation around Mitch McConnell, but we need to dive deeper because there's this now viral video of Senate Minority Leader McConnell appearing to have a medical episode while speaking to reporters.
Another time. Again. It's actually kind of creepy to watch. Yo! Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? We're looking at this creepy... We're just watching the news right now, my guy. I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute.
So that alone is super concerning, but it's even more concerning because this is at
Super
least the second
concerning.
time it has happened. He had a public episode like this just in the last few weeks.
And a string of
This one really freaked me out the first time I saw it.
But despite the fact that one of the single most powerful people in the country right now is seemingly having real medical events in full public view, McConnell's team has not at all been transparent with the American people about what's going on. Because McConnell's office has provided exactly 0.0 information about the incident, with a spokesperson for McConnell only telling reporters that the senator just felt lightheaded and that he would see a physician before his next event. While I was recording, we got the news that the attending physician to Congress issued a statement saying he consulted with Leader McConnell and conferred with his neurology team, and adding that he told McConnell he is medically clear to continue with his schedule as planned, but the physician also didn't provide any information about what happened, just reiterating the whole lightheaded bit, saying lightheadedness.
I think he has dementia. Or no. God, what's the... There's a just... Is it part of dementia where you get the mini strokes? I know there's something where you have mini strokes all the time. Just really tiny ones that aren't like... I mean, they slowly ate away at you, but... I know because my grandpa had it. He had this thing where he constantly... Not constantly, but... I mean, maybe every now and then would just have a mini stroke. And that's what I think this is.
This can be expected as a result of dehydration or recovery from a concussion. Right with that, in reference to a bad fall McConnell had during a GOP fundraiser back in March that resulted in him being hospitalized with a concussion. So we still don't have much to go off of. But also that is at least more than what we were told after the first event. Because after the first time, they wouldn't even answer questions about whether he saw a doctor following the event. With McConnell himself returning to that presser after being escorted away, saying, oh, he was doing fine, he was able to do the job on the Republican leadership team. And after both incidents, McConnell's allies pointed to the fact that he resumed answering questions after each time and continued on with other planned meetings and events. But here is the incredibly important thing. You have experts and doctors saying just because he was able to carry on with his day after these episodes doesn't necessarily mean
that was a little loud for my
events.
That was a little loud for my ears.
Sagra, a sleep doctor and pediatric neurologist at Duke, who explained,
in the neuro world, we say these are stereotype episodes. They occur the same way each time, or roughly the same way each time, and it's kind of the hallmark of epilepsy. So this is likely focal seizures. The fact that he stops talking can be for two reasons. One, he could have impaired awareness during the seizure, or two, it could actually be affecting the speech centers of his brain in charge of actually
trust that guy more than what I said about the mini strokes. I don't know anything. I'm an idiot.
expressive speech. This also explains why they didn't rush him off after the first episode to a nearby hospital to get a full workup. It's probably because he's been having these all along. He's had multiple of these. They already know about them, and so they didn't feel the need to go rush him off for a CT scan.
The possibility that McConnell had a seizure was also parroted by other doctors after the first event last month, with many of those experts also saying it could have been a mini stroke, which is also called a TIA.
Mini stroke! TIA, that's what they're called. This is exactly what I said. Are you kidding me? I'm like, God, but better?
But notably, you also have others pushing back against both of those possibilities, like CNN's chief medical correspondent, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, with Gupta explaining what he thought was going on yesterday.
There's a lot of things that can sort of come to mind. The more you know about the various neurological conditions, the longer the list is. But certain things like stroke or things like that are probably less likely. He walks away, and he's moving his arms and his legs as he walks away. Seizure is less likely.
But he also went on to say that whatever the...
What credentials does he have as a news anchor? Because I've seen people have a mini stroke and then be able to go on. I've seen that with my own eyes, with my two peepers. So what credentials does he have to tell me no, that can't happen? Screw that guy.
It's more serious.
I don't think he's a doctor. I don't know anything about him.
based on his team's repeated excuse of just lightheadedness, with him also echoing the point that it seems like this is something that happens enough that McConnell's team is clearly aware of it and knows what's actually going on.
I think what really struck me, and I think Manu alluded to this, is that his aides don't seem that surprised by this. So we've seen this episode a couple of times, but you get the impression that it happens more often because this is something that they're used to dealing with. So while it's, as you say, hard to watch, it doesn't seem like this is just lightheadedness. It seems to be something that is really ongoing. Someone who has a Parkinsonian-like condition, for example, whose medications are wearing off or something like that, that's something that could sort of explain this behavior. But as I said, Jake, it's a long list of possibilities here.
But to be clear here,
I just don't know what the purpose of seeing that dude was.
All of this is speculation, and many of these experts emphasize
exactly. He was just speculating. He's not even a doctor. He's just, that guy was, he's just saying, oh, it could, oh, maybe. That's all I'm saying.
the fact that we really don't know what's going on. But that is also what happens when there is a total lack of transparency. And all of that is just renewing questions about McConnell's health that were already circulating earlier this year. Because keep in mind, these two events come just a couple of months after McConnell had such a serious fall that he required hospitalization. And while he was released 5 days later, he was away from the Senate for nearly 6 weeks while he recovered. And according to reports, since that March fall, McConnell has also had at least 2 more falls, but neither were reported by his office, with him also reportedly being witnessed struggling at times following that first fall. And while he's always walked very carefully due to the fact that he overcame polio as a child before there was a vaccine, many have noted that he's been even more cautious since his fall, with him also taking a less predominant role in leading his party, letting McCarthy take the wheel on key negotiations, as well as speaking less during weekly GOP luncheons, according to people who attend them. And all of this as McConnell is 81 years old and the longest serving party leader in the Senate ever.
That's crazy. I don't know. I believe if you're like 65, you can't fly a plane anymore or something. And I think that's a good rule for especially that profession, but also this profession, because you're so out of touch with that, and then you're just making policies that won't affect you till you're gone. They just won't affect you ever.
So you have all of that, and you have an absolute tidal wave online of people saying he is just too old to be leading the party, many calling for him to retire. And that notably including prominent conservatives like Bill O'Reilly and even Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Also with this, it's important to keep in mind, this is not just a left-wing, right-wing thing, right? Many specifically pointing to Senator Dianne Feinstein, who's the
She needs to go as well.
oldest member of Congress and who has faced widespread calls to step down because it's abundantly clear she literally has no idea where she is half the time. And as we see more and more of these things happen, it adds to the arguments that people have for needing term or age limits. So if you try to pass a law in the Senate, I don't know how many people would vote for them because the average age for a senator is 64 years old, with more than
And then if you make it 65,
half of all members clocking.
just saying, we'd have like a total turnover of the people governing you. That would be sick. That's what you need.
It at 65 or older. I mean, McConnell's not even a boomer. He's older than the boomers. He was born in 1942, back when the real world was still black and white. He's part of something called the silent generation. And you can call this ageist all you want, but look at what the fuck is happening. I feel like we're gonna see head and jar Futurama senators before there's actual age limits. But yeah, that's the news that's going around now. A deeper dive into it. Now I pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts here? What do you think about the McConnell and Feinstein situations? And do you think there should be age or term limits in Congress? And that is where today's dive into.
I just want to say, I think that, hey, yeah, that's pretty much it. Not me. I'm not doing it. Someone took over. I want to see. How much does that help? Oh, that's helped so much. What's going on? And I said, yeah, 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 yeah. You know, Opera GX is supposed to run better than other browsers, but I actually don't see that in the numbers. Cancel. Yeah, I'm still using like 77% of my memory just with the browser. Why? Is there some setting or I don't know what I'm doing. I gotta be honest. Let's see. What do you need? I thought there would be a way to make it run better. Based on all the ads and shit I've seen. Apparently not. Let's see. But let's see if we can get this up. Window capture, window capture. Upper low. Oh, cool. No! Didn't mean to do that. There we go. And bring it down, down, down. Down, 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 down.
You see this black box right here? Well, I'm
I
going
wanna
to show
watch
you
this,
something
'cause I
right
have the
now.
same problem.
Some people are concerned that they might have to go.
I don't believe people who say that they don't think that people are causing climate change. As I have said before, and I think it's important to keep this in mind, there are 3 ways of denying climate change. And there's sort of a sliding scale, and people will sort of slide around on it depending. Some folks, I've seen them slide up and down this scale, just them. And so this is part of why I don't believe that they don't believe. Is they go from, I don't think that the earth is getting warmer, to I don't think that people are doing it, to I don't think that it's that big of a deal, to I don't think that it's worth the costs. All up and down the scale, they'll go, like, depending on the room they're in, they'll change where they are on this scale of climate denial. But over here is impossible. I don't believe that anyone who's paying attention doesn't think the earth is getting warmer. And that's going to get harder and harder to deny every year. Before I get all the way into...
It's impossible to deny. In my point of view. Because where I'm from, we went from having a winter with like several snows every year, my whole life. And then we went down to just a few snows, a few big snows. Then we went down to one. We'd have one good one for about 2 years in a row. And then all of a sudden, for the last 3 years, I think, none. No snow at all. It doesn't even get that cold. It feels like fall all year. But I'm in a place that definitely has seasons. So anyway,
to that. This is my problem. I just don't think that, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I'm right about this. I'm saying this is what my subconscious is telling me. My subconscious is telling me climate denial isn't that important because it is already very hard to believe the things that are clearly wrong. And it's just going to get harder every year. So it's already very hard to believe that it's not caused by that like it's not getting warmer. That seems impossible. Seems impossible to believe that if you're paying attention. Second, it's very hard to think that it's being caused by like the earth getting closer to the sun or something, which is not happening. Like there are people who believe the earth is flat. And sometimes I think that when we're having these conversations and you're like, everybody on the debate, raise your hands if you think that people cause global warming. Like we should then say, all right, but raise your hands if you think that the earth is round. Because I think we might catch some people who are like, well, you know, I'm not convinced. I think it's out there. I think that like part of the
I just looked. You can see the drop off of the earth. You don't have to do anything that crazy. You can see that it's round with your naked eyes. With your naked eyes, you can see that this is it's doing this big scale. So I do believe that everyone who says the earth is flat is lying. They're just trying to get attention or whatever, trying to be contrarian, which is fine. I was in middle school too at one point. I did that. Yeah. Anyway.
The appeal, and I understand why this is part of the appeal, but part of the appeal is just being contrary to the
I just said this. I just said this.
You know, being a rogue.
I just said this.
Being contrarian.
I just said that. Oh wait, hold on. I didn't go back, but I did just say that with the people who are flat earth. He's right. These people just want to be contrarian. It's just like that. We all knew a kid, or maybe you were that kid, that when something became popular, they would hate everything that's popular. Everything anyone likes, they're like, no, that's so cringe. Or those are the same people that grow up to be flat earthers and climate deniers because they just like, for one, belonging to a group because there's a group of people that believe that. But mainly just to feel like, oh yeah, I'm against the world. Oh yeah, I'm different. Because everyone wants to feel unique. And, you know, I'm no different in that. Everyone wants to feel different from the person next to them. You want to feel unique in some way. And some people do that by saying, you know what? All these things I can see with my eyes, all these things that I can sense, I just don't believe in them. And those are flat earthers and those are climate deniers. That's what they are. They're just, I think at this point, you've got to be lying to yourself for either of those things, but especially the flat earth.
Because look.
Whoa. %60 frame drop. What the heck happened? What is going on? Why'd my CPU usage go up so much? Still not that high though. My memory's the same. I don't know why that means I'm at like 15 frames per second right now, right? Crap. I just wanted this to look good. Usually when I plug directly in to the internet, I don't drop any frames, and now I'm dropping half of them right at the 1 hour mark. I don't know what that's about. I don't know.
I like sometimes that's legitimately true. Like there are times when the rogues win out. This isn't going to be one of them. I think sometimes about like the reality of the GameStop thing. Do you remember GameStop and the stock thing that happened?
I felt for that too. I was stupid as well.
Where there were a bunch of hedge fund guys, and they were like, GameStop is going to be worth less in a year than it is now, because it's a mall store selling games, which are mostly downloaded now. And they were like, well, let's short it. Let's buy stocks in a way that we will make money if that stock is worth less in the future, which I don't. That's not my area of expertise. And then they did it, and then people realized that they did it, and they were like, but if when their short sales come due, we inflate the price, we normal people get to take money away from the hedge funds. And that's amazing. And they'll lose billions of dollars and we could make millions. And like, that's people pushing back against the dogma. It's pushing back against the pretty objective, usually reality, that like the retail investors never win and the hedge funds always do. But in this case, that wasn't. They figured it out. They like, and the rogue story is the good story. And I just didn't want to be a part of the rogue story. And I write for the internet. I know how like capturing attention works. You need things that are counterintuitive, and you need people to feel like they know stuff that other people don't know. All that's great content marketing. To some extent, I think that there are people who know that global warming exists and is caused by people, but they don't say it because they want to look like a rogue, and they want to look, and they want to.
I agree with this
party thing here, where there's like the party that believes in the party that doesn't, and once it's an issue, it's gonna become something that people. It's just gonna be on party lines, which is infuriating, but it's the reality. And like I can't fix it. But like I think that the informed people, I feel that the informed people actually know. And they don't actually. I don't believe people who say, have said, some folks, I've seen them slide in the future. I feel like.
Okay, since my stream's going so bad, I think I'm going to go ahead and just end it. And by bad, I mean it's gone rogue. 50% drop frames now. What's that about? So anyway, I guess I'm gonna leave, since my video probably looks all choppy to you, since all of a sudden 50% of my frames are dropping. What else am I supposed to do? Stay here? No. Hell no. I guess I'm gonna leave. Sorry. Bye. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll do this again tomorrow for much longer. I'm gonna figure this